CALPADS error resolution, PLAN0620E4. Missing eligible and participating status record for a plan record. The first step when troubleshooting any error in CALPADS is always consult the CALPADS error list. And so here we have a screenshot of the CALPADS error list in an Excel spreadsheet form. And starting with the far left, you can see the error number PLAN0620E4. The E4 indicates this is the end of year 4 version of the error. Oftentimes you will see end of year 4 or fall 1 with your special education related errors. So this is the end of year 4 version of the error. Then the name, this is what you will see in CALPADS, missing eligible and participating status record for a plan record. So the information that CALPADS gives you would be the error number and the error name. And these two elements alone are for reference. They don't really help you identify the problem. And so that's why you always want to come here and consult the error list. So you begin to get real tangible information from the error description. And it reads, plan records need to have an effective, eligible, and participating status on the plan. So based on the error description, we really can see the relationship between your plan record and the status, right? You can see that the plan record has to have an eligible and participating status. It's telling you that. All right. So then we're going to skip over the severity and error type and go to fields validated. And it tells you there's status, SWDS data, and it lists the reporting LEA, the special education effective start date, the special education status code, right? So there's 3 elements in the status, and then the plan data, the reporting LEA, the student, the SSID, and then the special education plan effective start date. So we really want to pay careful attention to the status effective start date and the plan records effective start date. And the fields of validation are important because this is where you're going to look at the record in CALPADS, make your comparisons, and identify the discrepancy that is triggering the error. And then the suggested resolution. First, it gives you detail, help you understand why the error is triggering. The system is validating that if a student has a plan record effective during the reporting period, the student's most recent status or SWDS record is eligible and participating and overlaps the plan effective start date. The suggested resolution gives you an indication of how you would resolve the error. Verify the student has a status or SWDS record that overlaps the plan record. Again, so it's telling us that the status, the SWDS effective start date, has to be eligible and participating, and it has to overlap the plan record's effective start date. Sometimes the error list requires you to refer to other documentation. And so when you're trying to identify which records need to be submitted for your students with disabilities amongst the SWDS, the MEET, the plan, and the SERV, the SERV, a great document to refer to is the Special Education File Submission Scenarios. And you can see here we have highlighted the status for re-enrollments. Oftentimes, an eligible student will withdraw and then renew their services. And that's when the status isn't necessarily updated. Maybe a new plan is submitted by an LEA, but the status hasn't been updated. So sometimes this is a discrepancy that we see triggering the plan 0620 error, whether it's fall 1 or end of year 4. And then another great document is the CALPADS FAQs. Here, there's information about the SWDS file, when it should be submitted, and then further down, there have the different statuses, so you can get more information about the different statuses and if they're appropriate for your submission. So there's always great information to be found in the CALPADS FAQs. And then there's also things you want to consider. Most often causes for the Plan 0620E4. Students improperly exited from special education. So to exit a student from special education, you need to update their status. So that's one of the reasons. Student withdrew from special education but returned. Again, we just spoke about this. Students that withdraw from services and then renew their services or re-enroll into those services while they're eligible sometimes have that status of eligible but not participating unchanged. And so once they have an effective plan, an active IEP, they need to have the appropriate status of eligible and participating. And then another common cause is initial plan record submitted for a student, but no status was submitted. So again, students have the meet and the plan and the serve, but the status isn't correspondent with an active plan. So those are some reasons why the Plan 0620E4 would trigger. So now let's look at an online demonstration of how to resolve this error. Okay, so we're looking at the Plan 0620E4. This can be seen on the data discrepancy screen as well as your certification status screen. As you can see on the data discrepancy screen, it's an end of year 4 error. So if you're looking at your end of year 4 certification status, this is where you would identify the Plan 0620E4 error. So it's a couple things here on the data discrepancy screen. This will link us to the user manual and a description of the error. I'll always recommend reviewing the error list or the troubleshooting section in the user manual to get a description and identify the suggested resolution. And down here, a step that's often missed is that we have the view record button, right? So we will click this link and go to the student detail screen, right? But if you view record or you click the view record button, you get the details. And for this, we're looking at the plan record, hence the name Plan 0620 error, right? But the special education effective start date helps us identify the record which is triggering the error on the view details. So if this school district had multiple plan records, this date tells us which record to look at. So it's good to look at the record that's triggering the error to make sure that we're making the effective changes, okay? So the plan record effective start date is 8/25/2023. We'll go to view details and we can find that record right here, okay? So this is the plan record triggering the error. Now let's look at the error description from the user manual, Plan 0620E4, missing eligible and participating status record for a plan record. Plan record needs to have an effective, eligible, and participating status on the plan effective start date. We're going pretty quick. Let's slow down. The plan record indicates the student is eligible and participating in special education, right? The students with disability is receiving services. In order to receive services in CalPADS, you have to denote, so we know to collect this student's information on reports, that they're eligible and participating. The SWDS or the status record has to be eligible and participating. This is triggering because the eligible and participating status is either missing or it does not correspond to the record's plan effective start date. This is key, the plan effective start date. The fields of validation tell you where to look. Notice it says plan effective start date and special education status effective start date. These are two key fields of validation. And then the system is validating that the student plan record is effective during the reporting period. The student's most recent SWDS record, eligible and participating, overlaps the plan effective start date. So here's more key information. The effective reporting period. We're talking about an E4 error. End of year 4. End of year 4 effective reporting period is the entire academic year. So any record that overlaps the academic year can trigger this error. So it's not necessarily the most recent error. So if we go back to the student detail screen, we can see that subsequent records have been submitted. All right. So back to the basics. The plan effective start date is 8/25/2023. There's an eligible and participating status on 2/12/2024. So February of 2024, the student status changed to eligible and participating from eligible and not enrolled. But on 8/25/2023, the student had an active IEP, right? However, on 8/14/2023, just 9 days prior, the student was said not to be enrolled. So this status conflicts with this plan, and that is the problem here. Okay. So when this student was subsequently enrolled, right, this plan should have had a corresponding status, right? So let's look at the enrollment record. We can see this student enrolled on 8/25/2023 and was enrolled at this Merced County Office of Education till 11/17/2020. So in fact, at 8/25, there should have been an eligible and participating status populated. So that's the reason why this particular error triggered. If there's no status at all, the same error will trigger telling you that the student does not have a status on the plan effective start date. So to resolve this error, Merced County Office of Education would need to submit a status of on 8/25/2023. But in order to do that, Merced County Office of Education will have to request the status first be deleted of eligible and participating, and then they would replace it with 8/25/2023. They don't own this record. Santa Clara County Office of Education owns the record, and CalPADS will not accept duplicate statuses, only a change. So you can see the pattern: eligible participating, eligible not enrolled, eligible participating. They cannot slide one in between here because this would block it. So you'd first have to request this to be deleted and then add your status. And that would resolve the plan 0620E4 error.